watched you last night. We've known each other for many years. I saw.
Sean, I'm saying it's allergies. It was allergies. I mean, that's, not a lot of crying in the Trump family, but that moment, John, it was so heavy. 48 hours later, just the emotion, but also the love that we felt here. I mean, it's such a different setting than 2016. The last time we were sort of at a real convention, right? 2020 was digital. It wasn't, 2016, I was almost in a fist fight with Mike Lee on the floor of the convention because there was still this battle going on and people were uncertain what Trump was going to do to the party. What I saw over the last couple of days here in Milwaukee was just incredible. By the way, I'm really good friends with Mike Lee now, so people can evolve and people can change and people can unify. And this party
let's go
is
back
unifying.
to the beginning. I remember, and they're friends of mine, guys like Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, beating the crap out of me because I supported your dad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very different party. There was uncertainty, but now you saw results. You saw, under my father's administration. But I think what you saw on Saturday, that was America, to be in the face of fire, right? Everyone's a tough guy these days on keyboards and behind a computer and on the internet. It's a little different when you actually get shot in the face. He did, and to stand up defiant in the face of literal fire and an assassination attempt, that's what America needs right now. We've had the opposite for 4 years, where we exude weakness, world leaders, our enemies, everyone sees it, and they pounce. They take advantage of that. That's the nature of predation, Sean. Predators prey on the weak. America isn't weak, but we're being led by weaklings. That was a moment that changes history in America.
That's an iconic moment. That we'll always remember that. Now, they're going to a videotape here. I want to ask you this. Where were you?
I was out with my daughter, right? It was a Saturday evening. My daughter, I get the rare call where, hey, Dad, can we go fishing? Literally, it almost never happens. She's always playing golf. Wants to go. So I was
because you like to hunt or fish.
I like to hunt or fish. That's what I do. But it also, and shoot, which is why this stuff is like divine intervention.
I want to ask you about that.
We'll get to that. And so I was out on a boat with my daughter in the Atlantic, and some of her friends, and I get a call. Kim calls me and says, "Your dad's been shot." I'm like, well, I need more than that. What do you mean? I didn't know anything for 90 minutes. I start calling and frantically trying to get through to anyone running in, just try to get my kids together, secure, explain to my young children what happened. I mean, it was a crazy moment. It took 90 minutes for me to actually get a hold of my father. When I did, it was me, Eric, Kim's on the phone, my ex-wife, my children are there, and we're on speakerphone, finally get him, and he's okay. And you could actually, honestly, just incredibly composed. Obviously, the gravity of the situation was weighing on him, and, that's when I just said, hey, you're the biggest badass I've ever seen in my life. That moment, it was just, I've never not been proud of him, but that moment was like, man, it just next level.
I've known your dad for almost 30 years. And, we were just talking about when we first met. You don't remember, but every time I'd interview your dad, long before he got into politics, he would walk me over, introduce me to you and Eric and Ivanka, very proudly every time. You're a tight-knit family. He did tell me the story about Barron, your younger brother, who you're very close to. And he took it hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had to, as a father, try to explain that to, my 10-year-old daughter, my 11-year-old son, 12-year-old son. I've got a lot of kids, 15 and 17, and, that's a conversation I hope no one ever has to have, and especially in that time when we just didn't know, and, they're wondering and they're questioning and they don't really know what's going on. It was very rough. It was very rough.
I want to ask about the head of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, who said, the buck stops with me, but I plan to stay on. And then
so the buck doesn't actually stop with you.
Okay, what does that mean? Yeah. And then the worst thing that she said is, we knew it was a threat, but it was a slope roof, so we put the agents inside. Now, you are, for those that don't know, like me, I'm a...
You know karate, I know shooting. That's what I do. I know what's
I was
going
a pistol marksman as an 11-year-old. My mother was a prison guard, right?
Yeah.
So they took me early. Gun safety was key. You're better with rifles, definitely, than I am by a long shot. I've seen your photos. But in all seriousness, 130 yards, it's a layup.
If we put it in, it's a layup. In golf terms, it's what we call like a 6-inch putt.
Yeah.
The fact that he turned his head at that moment, it's literally, I'm not an overly spiritual guy, right? But that is divine intervention. I saw it, I'm like, it's literally almost impossible to miss that shot. But the fact that it got that far, that it went for that long, that there's videos of people in the crowd saying, hey, look, well, this is kind of odd. I mean, it doesn't happen. I've had a Secret Service detail. I've been around my father's for 8 years, but I had my own. When you're the presumptive nominee, a shooter with a rifle does not get on a roof for half an hour without being spotted, without being noticed, or without being exterminated, and certainly not within 150 yards. When I first heard, I assumed this had to be something from 1,000 yards out. But 150 yards inside of that, it's an impossibility to have happen without
it was outside the perimeter.
Incompetence.
But the perimeter is any range in which you can hit a target. That would be the range. Now, this is where it gets even worse, because she had the slope roof, so I put them on the inside. Why not surround the perimeter? Why not have sharpshooters have eyes and lasers on that roof? It is a level of incompetence. Your father came within a millimeter of being assassinated. We wouldn't be here tonight.
The slope roof, I mean, just, again, I know these guys. I've shot with all my Secret Service.
You like
details.
these guys.
They're great guys. They're not worried about a slope roof. I can assure you, these are, especially the guys that I've known in there, some of them will be lifelong friends. They're not worried about a 5-degree pitch on a sloped roof. Like, that's nonsense. That's not an excuse. You look at the counter snipers that were up there, they're also on sloped roofs. Why was that one okay?
By the way,
give me a break.
Steeper slope.
Yeah, a steeper slope. It's the dumbest excuse, but of course, the buck stops with her, but there will be no accountability. Nothing's going to happen. They won't do it. The FBI will do a phony investigation, and they'll come up with nothing. The problem is, Sean, a big part of what I see here is so many people have just lost faith in these institutions, whether it be the FBI, whether it be the DOJ, because they've seen it weaponized against them. Conservatives have watched for the last decade as concerned mothers at PTA meetings are turned into domestic terrorists, but actual terrorists are led astray. They're just let out. It's insanity.
Here's where it even gets worse in my mind, is that we now know that U.S. authorities had human source intelligence in recent weeks on a plot by Iran, and we don't know that Iran was involved, to assassinate your father, but they had that intelligence, and that led the Secret Service, they say, to increase security, which adds another level.
If you have that kind of credible threat, and I know, there was a credible threat against us and the whole family when my father was in office with Iran. I think it's sort of a great endorsement. Like, when people like Iran want to take you out, that probably means it's good for America, bad for Iran. That may be the greatest political endorsement ever. But when that happens, their capabilities are so much more than, a kid with a rifle. So there's no way, again, that's why when I hear the 130 yards number, I can make that shot with a bow.
Yeah.
I know guys make that shot with a handgun all day long. It's no way. This doesn't just happen.
But something, think of what your father has been through, and I've covered all of these stories. The Russia hoax, and 51 former intel officials. Look at the decision by Eileen Cannon in the Florida case and the documents. They didn't raid Hillary Clinton's house. They didn't raid Joe Biden's house. We have a weaponized system of justice. I talk about it all the time. And it really scares me as an American that this has been allowed to happen. By the way, nobody in the media, nobody on the Democratic side, they didn't care about a phony valuation of Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. A rudimentary perusal of Palm Beach real estate shows it's closer to $1 billion. But they didn't care. They didn't care about statute of limitations. A legal NDA put together by a lawyer, labeled a legal expense, nothing wrong, but they upgraded to 34 felony charges.
Well, Sean, they've been trying to take him out one way or the other.
And
for
by the
quite
way,
some time.
and others.
Yeah, I did 50 hours of testimony for treason. That's a crime punishable by death. I understand with these lunatics that I'm not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. But it feels a little bit harsh. It feels a little excessive that would be the case.
Just a little.
Right? Just a little. And so it's insane. So they tried to take him out, legally. They tried to bankrupt him. They've tried to, he's the first person in the world that's ever paid a $500 million fine or has to pay a $500 million fine for paying back loans on time with interest, where the alleged victim is a bank that's testifying on his behalf. Yeah. That doesn't just happen. And so when that failed and impeachment failed and they couldn't confiscate his businesses and they've been desperately trying to throw him in jail, what do you think the next evolution is? It's not conspiratorial. Like, they've tried to dehumanize him for so many years. He's a Nazi and a fascist, but they've also done that to every person in this room. Every person in this room in half the country. And so it's a shame, and we do have to get rid of that rhetoric. But I saw it yesterday, Sean. I went onto the floor. Eric and I went out there. We're delegates for Florida. We're throwing over the state, 125 delegates. It made my father the official nominee, right? That's a big moment for our family. And there's an MSNBC reporter. We're about to go on 30 seconds before that, and he goes,
I got the tape. Can I play it?
Sure.
All right, let's roll tape. Let's run that tape. Do we have that tape? I think we have.
Is it acceptable that you have still not heard, at least publicly, from the Secret Service director?
Oh, I've heard from them.
But have you heard from her publicly?
Publicly, I've sat down in a situation room downstairs. The Secret Service, the FBI, the national security agencies, the Homeland Security, all the major elements.
He did spend a lot of time changing up the message of what it's been. He's been under constant attack, but it's a different time in America. A lot's happened in 48 hours.
Don, what is that change going to look like, Don? What practically, your father, as president, I think you would even say was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay, sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
I talked to your dad about it today. It's funny. Pot kettle. He goes, yeah, sometimes Don gets a little hot. That's what he said to me.
A little hot. I thought it was remarkably restrained.
I thought so,
I was
too.
like, my father got shot in the face less than 48 hours before that moment. I think I showed a lot of restraint.
I will say, I'm going to go to Newt Gingrich in a second, and we appreciate you being with us. When the moment happened and he went down,
yeah,
I said they just killed him.
Yeah.
And I've known him a long time. Great to see you.
Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
All right, Don Jr., thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.